Hi, families. I hope this ends up being a fun way to communicate with all of you. I hope that you're all watching and thank you so much. I thought about sending you an email and I thought about doing phone calls with everybody, and I was worried that y'all were going to think that I was going to make some big announcement or something. So I thought that a video might be a fun way to communicate with you some of my goals for 2017 with Lindsay's Play and Learning Center and for our Munchkins. Um, so, the last 3 to 4 months have really been, I think, my main goals were to develop strong relationships with each of your children and nurture positive relationships between all the children. And I think that we've been pretty successful. I feel really good about how all the kids feel about each other and sort of their impact on one another. And I hope you all feel too. I feel bonded to each of the children and feel that I have their trust and respect, and they definitely have my trust, respect, and my love. I am sure you can tell. And so, kind of in this last week, I've been really thinking about what I can do to improve the environment for the Munchkins. And I'm going to be really honest with you, it hit me like a ton of bricks that one of the things that I thought that I was doing that was benefiting all of them, I actually think was, I don't think it was harming any of us at all, but I do think that it took away from part of the environment that I told y'all I wanted to provide for you. So one of the things, I'm sorry, let me make that more clear. So one of the things that I've been doing is almost sort of responsive parenting for the kids. By that I mean I am of course not parenting them, but I have been feeding everybody as they get hungry and putting everybody down for naps as they get tired, rather than having a more structured routine. I've been trying to individualize it, to individualize their schedules every day. And while that I think it hopefully sounds like a positive thing, and it felt like a positive thing for me when I first got started, and all the kids are, gosh, 3 to 4 months older now. And as you know, when they're this little, that makes a big difference. But what I think sort of happened in sort of individualizing that schedule is that we missed some opportunities for some really cool, deliberate, meaningful developmental play that has that sort of educational and also emotional, cathartic, those benefits that we really want from our kids, right? Our play with a purpose is always what I thought of when I was a child life specialist. I think some of that has been lost. Not that the kids aren't playing and not that they're not enjoying themselves, because I truly think they are, but I want to be better. I want to be the provider that I promised y'all that I would be. And one of the ways, or actually the main way that I think I need to work on for honestly the next 90 days, it's not going to happen overnight because all of us are going to have to adapt, I think, but is to provide a more structured schedule for the Munchkins. Because what's happening, so let me explain a little bit, and I hope that this doesn't seem out of nowhere, and it doesn't concern anyone. So let me kind of explain. Pretty much from the time the kiddos get here until the time they go, I am trying to feed someone and get someone down or up from a nap pretty much from the time they get here until the time they leave. And of course, kids need to eat and sleep all day when they're small. That's part of it. But I think if there were a little more deliberate schedule, meaning if we all ate breakfast at about the same time, we all did a morning rest at the same time, and that could mean for the big kids some quiet time looking at books, and the little kids all laying down in their cribs. If we did some of those all at the same time, then my time and my ability to function more like a teacher rather than sort of like a mother hen, not to say that I'm going to quit nurturing them, because I hope you all know that that's not what I mean, but I would be able to do some more deliberate play with all of them if we were a little more scheduled in our time, particularly nap times. I think that what's kind of happening with nap times now, we're making it work. but particularly in the afternoons, because the little ones, including mine, Margaret too, because I'm sort of allowing them to choose their own nap times, what happens is they tend to be awake during the big kids' nap time. And then what happens is I'm spending a lot of time sort of restricting their play, minimizing it, making it smaller, trying to protect the older kids' nap time. And also their nap time is being impacted and they're not receiving the benefits of a great nap. Also, even that's truly true for the little ones as well, because they are sort of inner napping and waking each other up, and so it's impacting everyone's play and it's impacting everyone's sleep. And so I thought, now, is there any way for me to do this? I mean, am I even on the right direction? Well, so I went back, first of all, to my education. Oops, sorry, I dropped the computer a little bit. So I went back to my education. My education, as you all know, is in child development and human development. And I mean, one of the key things that we talk about as child life specialists, as early childhood educators, is providing children with a predictable routine. So if I'm just doing responsive, which I really thought I was doing the right thing, and I hope you all can understand that. And we were following sort of a very fluid schedule. There were predictable things, though I don't want you to think that. But when you're following a really fluid schedule, you're sort of taking away that routine, that schedule. And of course, the more children that are involved, sort of the more scheduled we have to be, the more deliberate we have to be. And so really, development tells us that infants, toddlers, and preschoolers, that's one of their top needs, is a predictable routine. And that has to be centered around mealtime and nap time. So that's development tells me that. And then I also went out and I looked at some blogs of some very, well-educated, very experienced in-home daycare and preschool providers. And over again, the advice I saw was overwhelming, that nap times and meal times all the kids need to be napping or resting, and all of the kiddos need to be eating at the same time for you to be able to provide the appropriate play experiences. And honestly, just truly, truly high quality care, so that everyone is napping well and everyone has full tummies and has this ability to play. When I think about the play goals that I have for our munchkins, I have these great, and some of them maybe are a little ambitious because of the time. But I have these goals of having a certain developmental plan for each child every week and what I would want to work on with them that week. And I do have it. It's in my brain and I have it ready to go. But because someone's always eating and someone's always napping, then between that and potties and diaper changes, which is always going to be the case, right? And that's fine. I'm really not able to play with the kids because I'm implementing those meal times. So I'm hoping this is making sense. And in my email, I'm going to send you with the link to this video. So you've already seen the email. I'll send you a new schedule prototype. But so what that mainly means for me, I'm asking for you will be different for each family. But just to sort of give you a preview for kiddos who take 2 naps a day, I'd really like to hear from you when those are at home and see if we can work together to at least having one of those 2 nap times really mirrored. So what I'd like to do is have the whole group, everybody, from teeny tiny to big kid, is one of the nap times will be from 1:30 to 3:30. That's earlier than we've been going down, even for the big kids. But I did research on that, and the best time to nap during the day, the best time for your body, about, depending on you when you wake up in the morning, is about 2 o'clock. So my thinking is that if we start, laying down around 1:30 or so, that we'll really be asleep by about 2. So it may even be like a 2 to 4 range. So I want to have all the kiddos down during that time. And then I want to come up with sort of a morning nap, or see if we need to do morning rotating naps for the little ones, but at least work towards that one chunk of nap time. What that means is then we can't have somebody doing their morning nap, say from 11:30 to 1:30, because then they're going to be awake during that time. So I'm hoping that that's something that we can all work on together. Because like I said, I think that will give them all more powerful sleep, and I think it will also give everyone much more powerful play. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that we need to work on together is meal times, and kind of talking about, eating, everyone being here at a certain time and kind of eating together, or eating before they come, or kind of working through some of those things. And then all of the kids, so then I'm looking at lunchtime being somewhere between 11:30 and 12:30. And so kind of looking at together, or even, of course, it could be 12 to 1 too. I mean, we have some options, of course. And I know 12 to 1 sounds like a long mealtime. Well, if you kind of keep in mind that everyone's eating at a different pace, we're usually reading a story over mealtime. We have to wash hands before we eat, and then wash hands and faces after. So anyway, I'm looking at giving some more schedule to our day. I think when I do that, then I can do more sort of a schedule during the week. And what I mean is a theme of the week. So I have this dream of having a chicka chicka boom boom week. And for the littlest ones, I'd be doing puppets while we do the ABC chicka chicka boom boom. For my big ones, they would be taking the letters and putting the letters on the palm tree that I would have on the wall. And so anyway, I have these ideas for outside time, for inside time, for playtime. And of course, there'll still be free play because preschoolers need that very, 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 very much, and toddlers. But I'd really like for our time together to be more impactful. I think it's what you all were wanting when you went with me, and I think it could be really neat. And so I think that the thing that I need to do to help us have that is to maybe be a little more structured in the schedule. And so I'm wondering if, as you're all watching this, if you have questions or concerns, or if maybe you're like, yes, let's do that. And so I was hoping, once you kind of all heard this together, that everyone might consider either emailing me or setting up a time for us to talk for about 20 minutes in the next few days or so, and really work together at how we can make this happen. And I hope you're all excited. I think that my days where all the kiddos nap about the same time and eat about the same time, and we've had some so far, I think they've been really great days where our play has really had a purpose. And, in child life, we kind of talk about there's hundreds of types of play. And some of the main ones that I always taught my students when I actually taught on play was that there's play for a purpose and there's play for play's sake. And of course, then they overlap. And I want to provide both of those for our munchkins. And it'll mean a change on my part too, because that's kind of how I've always practice parenting, is a little more like, are you hungry? Oh, not yet. Okay. And so, but I do know too, I've watched kids throughout my entire career who understand a school schedule versus a home schedule. And even though all of our kids are part-time, I do think that we can introduce this in a way that's really meaningful. At a center where there are multiple caregivers, they still typically do this kind of structure, even though they could be putting some down at different times than others. They really kind of teach the kids anticipated nap times, even in young toddler rooms. So I think we can do this. I really do. So I hope you all are excited about the things that I want to do for your munchkins. And I hope, if nothing else, that you know that I just care about them each, and y'all, individually and independently, and who everybody is. I guess finally, on a different topic, I'll share. I think all of you know that there's been a couple of potential families come to talk to me about joining, and I just want to share with you that I am still very deliberate about who comes into my home and who joins our children. The parents are almost a bigger key factor than the munchkins, and what I mean is what kind of parenting they practice and what they care about. And so there have been these times that I've asked you all for references, and it's been because I did feel very strongly about the kind of parents and kiddos that we were considering. So I just kind of wanted you to know that it's that I'm very, very happy with the families that we have now. I feel like even though you may not all know each other well, that you all have a lot in common in terms of parenting philosophy, early childhood education philosophy, and family values, and that means a lot to me. So plan is to keep that going. So as I'm interviewing new families and they're interviewing me, I just wanted you to know that. And I guess that's it. Happy New Year. I'm excited for us to continue this journey together. Let me know if you have questions or concerns. Let's figure it out. All right. Yay!